Hello, Euphorians. I'm your host, Paige Blazer, and you're listening to That's So Euphoric. I'm the ultimate superfan of the most beautiful fucking show to ever exist on the planet, Euphoria. Euphoria is a fantastical look at teenage love, addiction, and identity set in a neon-soaked suburban dream world. It's one thing to watch a show and truly fangirl over it, but most would say I've absolutely taken it to the next level. After watching the series more than 10 times, you could say I'm an expert in all things Euphoria. In this weekly podcast, we will be deep diving into each episode, providing you with the hottest spiked tea. Main ingredients will include sketchy drugs, a lot of high school dick, creepy motel dad sex, excessive drooling, and glam that will make your jaw drop. As we all know, Euphoria gets down and dirty, and we're here to give you all the tea episode by episode. I'm here with my co-host Alex, who also happens to be my dumb stoner boyfriend. Just kidding, but actually he's fucking smart and is here to boil the tea with his criticism, weird facts, and snarky unpopular opinions. It is crucial that we recap season 1, as season 2 is literally right around the corner. There is no time to waste. Let's jump right in and let's get euphoric. Hello, Euphorians. I'm your host, Paige Blazer, and I am here with my boyfriend of 10 years, Alex Miller. What's up, Alex?
What it is, girl?
Oh, it's, I would say it's good, but it's fucking crazy right now. We up here and coronavirus is rampant. We are self-quarantined in our apartment, but
it's Corona time.
Yeah, it's not only is it Corona time, we have goblets of wine in front of us. We have Euphoria on the TV, and we're making a podcast about the best show that's ever existed. So, I mean, honestly, is self-quarantine that bad? I have to say no. I have to say absolutely not. So anyway, here we are. Alex and I actually recently moved to New York in October. So we haven't been here too long, but so far the experience has been quite wonderful, especially with coronavirus going on. It's been just absolutely life-changing.
Don't you just love Corona in the Big Apple?
I really love nothing more than Corona in the Big Apple.
A beautiful time.
So here we are. We're just, we're going to embrace our inner creativity. I mean, we've just got so much to say, so many opinions.
Oh, we got opinions.
Yes. Alex and I are probably the most opinionated, I can't even speak. I think it's the virus kicking in. Opinionated people you will ever meet. So truthfully, we are just here really to dissect Euphoria, give you the tea, gossip, talk shit, just all the fun shit. I mean, do you have anything else to add to that about us?
No.
I feel like as we go, people will learn our personalities.
Oh yeah. They'll
But the only other thing I will say about us is I'm obsessed with Euphoria. It's literally a religion for me. I just love it. I've seen it about 7 to 9 times. Who knows? Who's counting? Who cares? But it's absolutely my favorite. Alex, I feel like you've seen it about, I don't know how many times.
I've seen it a total of 3 times altogether now ish.
I feel like it's definitely more than that,
somewhere
but
in that realm.
I feel like he's just trying to play it cool, 3 times,
one complete watch through and 2 patchy ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
Alex usually rolls
6.
in high. He'll literally be smoking in the kitchen, and then we'll come in and I'm watching it for my 6th time. So I feel like you come into it a little bit every now and then, but you've definitely watched it probably twice or 3 times fully through.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to kind of give that background because we are absolutely experts on this show.
Oh yeah.
So I think we should just, it's time to get euphoric and just fucking dive in, grab those scuba masks and deep dive into this content. So let us begin. I mean, let's just break down the episode. We start out with some really crazy shit. I mean, speaking of coronavirus, we literally start out with world crazy events.
Yeah, speaking of corona, Euphoria jumps us straight in there with
9/11.
With 9/11, which is like probably the most applicable modern comparison to today, fucking corona,
to literally what we're living through. I mean, I feel like I can really relate to the show. But yeah, we start out essentially with like Rue in the womb. She's being born out her mother's vagina. It's actually really graphic.
It's like very gory.
It's really graphic, but we love it. We're here for it. Like honestly,
speak for yourself on that one. I am not here for the gore birth.
No. We are here for it. Women are strong. Her mother's pushing her out, so she's out. So the whole, first segment of Euphoria really just breaks down what's happening in the world. It's kind of setting you up, setting the tone for the show. Essentially, like, I would say in my own words, it's showing like the chaos of what we're about to get into.
Yeah, I mean, we got like seconds out of the womb, we find out she's been born like a couple days after 9/11 or whatever. Like,
yeah, depressing.
What is the bearing of 9/11 like on the story, Like,
well, it's like they were saying her parents couldn't even enjoy her being born because they're essentially like watching on TV the rerun of the towers falling down.
I mean, it's
that's
dark,
awful.
but like, do we think this is like foreshadowing anything in the story? Like, are her and Jules like the twin towers that are gonna crash and burn?
I think it's more just that I think it's playing into Rue's like multiple personality issues and her mental health in a way. It's kind of like saying, from the beginning it was chaotic. So they pretty much essentially are introducing us to Rue's character, which Zendaya plays. She's an absolute queen. I mean, I can't even start to talk about her right now, or this podcast will go into like 2-hour mode. But we are introduced to her character. It's pretty crazy. Her parents are like essentially learning that she's bipolar. Is that the diagnosis that I should know? I've watched it 9 times. Sadly, I don't pay attention. I'm paying attention to like the clothing, the makeup, and like the funny shit. I'm not really like caring about her mental health. I know it's so awful. I don't really care what anybody says. Like, so what?
I think she's definitely obsessive compulsive, and I think also bipolar.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
But yeah. And then as she's growing older, we're kind of getting this like primer on the context she's born into, which is just kind of this era of like very common depravity. Like, she's in like middle school and she's getting texts saying like, "I'm gonna rape you, cunt."
I can't believe that. Yeah, they zoom in on her phone and she gets that text. Like,
yeah, she's probably like 12 at the time or something.
When I was 12, I think I got my first cell phone, which I wasn't even allowed to text off of. So to get a text that says, "I'm gonna rape you," like that's way too much.
Yeah.
But it's happening today, so that's weird for us though, because we're older. So that to me is just absolutely like, I shake to my core thinking that my child could get a text that says, "I'm gonna rape you," and that's casual.
They just they do a good job capturing how casual this type of stuff is. And then like, later she's at school with the lockdown drill and there's somebody showing her a BJ video.
I have to pause. I don't care if it's side note, like lockdowns. It's so sad, but when I was a kid, I fucking thought lockdowns were so fun. Did you not? Like, I thought it was like scary. Like, they're like, imagine like a killer with a gun walking through the halls and then you had to flip the tables over. Like, it was fun.
Like a joke.
Now it's like fucking terrifying and you're like, this could really happen at any day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure kids still joke about it because everyone has a dark fucking sense of humor, but it's also much more likely that shit's actually gonna like happen these days.
But you know what I'm saying? I had to do a little like throwback for people that are our age, because honestly, kids these days, like, they actually have to be scared of that. I was never scared. I was like eating my Lunchable behind the table, like cracking the fuck up.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you're right. We get this like not only an introduction into Rue's mental, illnesses, but we also see the environments that she's being brought up in, and they're fucking treacherous. They're awful.
But it's also just kind of like the modern condition for like,
they don't exaggerate
people.
it.
This is just very like kind of how it is. Like, it's like very casual.
Sadly, it's not exaggerated. You and I always say that Euphoria literally is not exaggerated. Like, this is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think some aspects of it are exaggerated, but this all is very like accurate. None of this like feels exaggerated.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. On from that, what happens next? I mean, I feel like once we get introduced to all of that,
I think the only other noteworthy part like of this intro segment is that we find out that Rue's name is spelled R-U-E. And I feel stupid for this, but I always assumed her name was R-O-O, like a kangaroo. And R-U-E is the word rue, which is a word that just literally means regret. So how fucking dark that she's born like 2 days after 9/11 and her mom is like, I'm going to name this baby Regret. Like, Jesus.
I mean, that is a very Alex way of looking at this because you're like dark as shit. I mean, I am thinking, oh, like Rue, like baby Rue, like the little kangaroo and Pooh Bear.
If you spelled it the other way. But instead they spelled it the way that means regret.
Yeah,
so
but
you
also
basically
R-O-O, like what a sorry to anyone
you
that
named
has
your
that
child
name.
like Regret. Like, which is a fucking burden for them to bear because it makes you feel unwanted. Like, your mom was like, I regret having you, so I'm literally branding you with the name Regret. Like, Jesus.
Alex has spoken.
Aggressive.
That's a good note to make, though. But anyway, so moving
on. We get our little like Beyonce song, and then we get the title card, and like there you go. Rue's
credits
born.
roll in. It's like
her
boom,
life.
Euphoria and Lemonade hits the vinyl player, and I'm here for it. I mean, anytime you hear Beyonce's voice, you're like, this is gonna be a good time. So she's playing. You get the summer vibes. It's very clear that we're gonna. I don't know. To me, it feels like summer in this scene. It's very much like we're gonna see Rue. Essentially, which is weird because I think it's when she's about to start school. So it's like summer leading into school.
We're talking about when she's getting. Are you talking about when she gets out
the
of
opening
rehab?
Credits. Yeah, that's summer.
So right after the opening credits is her getting out of rehab.
Totally, but I'm saying she's getting out of rehab and going to school because she went to rehab for the summer.
Yes.
Which, what a shitty way to spend your summer in rehab.
Right.
But also, I mean, depending on the rehab, if you're staying at like fucking Malibu Crossings, like you might be having a great summer.
I don't think
Rue
she was
like in Oakland,
Crossings.
so she was like eating rice pudding and having to go to like Bible study. I don't know. That's really stupid of me to say. I don't know what happens in rehab. I mean, I should probably be there. I drink more than anyone I know, but
I mean, I think it depends on the rehab. But like, yeah, Rue gets out of rehab. We get the scene that I'm very passionate about because it's obviously the end of summer at this scene, and I feel like they did a perfect job capturing the lighting conditions at the end of summer because like the end of summer does not look like the beginning of summer. Like,
especially in California.
September and June don't look the same. Like
no.
That lighting is so different, and they do a great job capturing that it's like late summer. So shout out lighting
Alex
directions.
loves pointing out like the real technical shit, which no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm literally like, no, this is like, I'm woke for this. I like it. But yeah, that is interesting. That's something I would never catch. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you were really like jizzing in your pants at the lighting of the show.
They did a good job.
Yeah, no, for sure. So opening credits happen. We're introduced to her getting back from rehab, and essentially like she goes straight from rehab to buying drugs, right?
Well, first she sees Jules for the first time.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry. I missed like literally the best part in the show. Okay, I'll set the tone. Picture this. Rue in the car with her mother and I almost said her daughter, it's her sister. They're in the car together, and we see Jules for the first time. She's riding her bike. She's looking like Sailor Moon. It's like hazy. She looks so beautiful. Anyway, she rides her bike right by the car, and her and Rue, whatever. I'm going to intermix the names all the time. They essentially make eye contact. I personally, Alex knows this, like I shed one tear when I watched this because it's the first time you see Rue and Jules essentially like cross paths in terms of just seeing each other. That's it. No real interaction, but it's kind of like curiosity. Like you can kind of tell they're both like, Well, not Jules. Rue sees her.
Yeah.
Is kind of like, who's this like Sailor Moon bitch?
She gets
she
that
hot.
little eyebrow, and she looks out the back window. She like, who this?
Yeah, and then she kind of looks away and is like, man, I want to do drugs tonight. What should I do?
Yeah, and then her mom's talking about how proud she is of being sober, and Rue's like, all right.
Oh my God, I love that part because everyone can relate when your mom's like, I am so proud of you. In your head, you're like, I'm so drunk right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're just like, I like literally hate you. But yeah, that's a great scene. Her mother essentially is just like, I am so proud of you, Rue. Like, this is going to be a whole new chapter.
Sure it is.
And Rue's like, yeah, it is. I'm about to get lit.
So that new chapter begins, and then Rue heads to the old gas station to buy some drugs from our boy.
The local Chevron.
Shout out Fezco, working in a chicken shop before Euphoria.
Yes, well, his real name's Angus.
Pulled off the literal streets of the chicken shop to be in this show.
For super fans that don't know that, literally Fezco's character, he was scouted out by a casting agent working at a fucking chicken shop. Like, talk about dreams coming true. So all of you that think you can't get anywhere in life.
Yeah.
I was going to say work at a chicken shop.
So yeah, Rue's got a great fucking alien shirt on during this scene, like an alien playing soccer or something. She heads into the case to go buy the drugs.
Well, the freezer. It's a freezer, right?
The freezer.
Yeah,
So we get introduced to my favorite character personally, Ashtray, who's like this little like 5 to 7 year old boy in like a drug dealer like marmot jacket with the Timbs and shit.
He kind of looks like a little Post Malone.
He's got the face tats, and he's selling drugs out of the back of the freezer at the gas station, and he's got like crazy like pharmaceuticals from China.
Okay, I will say really quickly, because I don't want to go like too off track, but I will say Alex knows this. The first time we actually watched the show, we were together the very first time I viewed the pilot, and honestly, this was the only scene that made me question even watching the rest of the show, because I was like, this is just, I can't, like, a fucking 5-year-old selling drugs out of a freezer at a gas station, and like they're not getting caught, like nothing's happening. I'm kind of one of those people that's very realistic, so when shit like that happens, I'm like, this could never happen, this is dumb. Like, no, a 7-year-old doesn't have face tats and is selling pharmaceuticals out of a freezer at a Chevron. Like, that just doesn't happen. But Alex has kind of made me...
Yeah, alternately...
Alex has shown me other sides of it.
Alternately, I fucking love this moment because, like, A, it's just funny, but also, like, B, you're immediately, like, thrown into realizing that this is not necessarily, like, realism.
Totally.
Like, we're going for something a little more, fantastical here,
totally.
a little more surreal, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment. But this is kind of, like, your first introduction to the fact that this is not just, like, a straight-up, like, realism.
Yes, and then one more thing to cap off before we kind of are done talking about this weird drug scene is that essentially this is kind of sad for Rue because she did just come out of rehab from serious conditions that will come up later, but I don't know, it kind of sucks that like she's literally going immediately back to like buying drugs, which I mean, I can't blame her. Like, honest to God, wouldn't you after being in rehab all summer? Like, I would have to get my hands on something, so I don't blame her. But we almost forgot Nate. This is when we're introduced to Nate.
I didn't forget. That fucker shows up, and just from like second one that he's on screen, you're just like, God damn, this guy is such a fucking douche.
Piece of shit.
From his first like moment on screen, you just fucking hate this guy. Like,
he's awful. He's the guy I don't even really know. Actually, no, I do know. I did know people like this in high school. I did not associate with them because I was above all that. But I mean, seriously, so he's super tall. He's definitely like got the jock build, but he's not. I do like this about Nate's character. When I say like, I mean, I do appreciate that they portray him not your stereotypical jock. Like, I think shows really do a bad job of showing how shitty jocks really are. I feel like they only like lightly touch the surface, meaning like they'll show a jock like throwing a slushie in someone's face in the hallway and you're like, that like wasn't really how it was. Where Nate, like, they perfectly depict what a real like asshole is. Like,
yeah, he's just a fucking
he's just the bottom of the monkey barrel.
Yeah, and then he immediately proceeds, after being a total fuck on screen for the first time, to run Jules off her bike like on the road with his truck, and it's just like, Jesus, this fucking
he literally runs her into the fucking grass. He doesn't throw anything at her, he pushes her, right?
No, he drives his truck like close enough to her that she crashes into a lawn. Which, let's all remember this. If they try to redeem Nate's character in season 2, which I hope they don't, he's irredeemable.
Yeah. No.
This shit is unforgivable.
I will agree with you on that.
This is like the first
Absolutely.
of many unforgivable acts. But yeah, he is right off the bat. It's bad.
So that's a lot. And the first scene of getting to know Rue, and really it's just it's a great intro to the new characters that we're just gonna keep talking shit and delving into.
All right, so after Nate's fuckery, we get some time with Jules, and she's trolling the old Humper app, or whatever the off-brand version of Grindr that they're using on this show is.
We have to talk about what that means. No one knows what the fuck you're saying. So we were laughing because in every fucking show, like Nickelodeon, Disney, whenever someone gets a text, they always have some fake ass app like the Pair or the Slap. I think was Victorious. No, I'm serious.
The Slap.
Victorious. Remember I told you I like literally worked on that show. Ariana Grande was on that show. They had literally an app that was like called the Slap, which is like, isn't that like an STD of some sort?
That's the clap.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Corona got me mixing up my STDs.
Oh my
no,
God.
it was called the Slap. But anyway, so we're calling the app that Jules is on in Euphoria Humper because it's Grindr.
It's like
but
off-brand Grindr.
Yeah, it's off-brand.
So
Grindr.
yeah, Jules is sitting there scrolling through Humper. She's getting offers for the old P&P.
Humping through Humper.
Yeah, and then she gets a message from someone with the username Dominant Daddy.
Okay,
Although,
Alex is giving me a look from across the room because
yeah.
Let me explain. First of all, I was probably drunk because every time I watch Euphoria, I'm like, at least a wine
You weren't
bottle in.
drunk all 7 to 9 times.
No, I wasn't. I was not. Sometimes I was high.
I know, but what I'm saying is you weren't drunk or
I wasn't
high
drunk
all
for this.
of those times.
No.
And
This
you
is
still
a sober
thought this.
page, like, idiot moment. I thought the username that what's his name was using, Cal was using, I thought it was Domian Daddy. I thought it was spelled Domian Daddy.
Instead of Dominant
So
Daddy.
I was really confused. And Alex and I, when we were like literally starting to do this podcast, we were like trying to break down what we want to talk about. And Alex was like, oh, let's talk about how funny it was when Cal like texts her from Dominant Daddy. And I was like, no, like that's not what it is. It is Domian Daddy.
So long story short, Cal is known as Domian Daddy around here. So
I think for the rest of the podcast, that's my goal. For the rest of the podcast, we're not even going to say Cal. We're not going to say Nate's dad. We're just going to say Domian Daddy or DD.
Daddy. Yeah.
DD.
So old
big
Domian,
DD.
Old Domian Daddy here sends her a pic, which we got a good laugh out of on our rewatch because he sends her like a chest body shot. Of like a very pasty, like pale, gross, weird dad bod.
It's not even a dad bod. It's like
it's pretty dad.
I don't even know. Like words cannot explain how horrendous this
gross.
Humper photo is.
But what's so funny about this, and what makes this like non-body shamey, is that they show the actor Eric Dane shortly after this, and that is not his body in the picture.
No, absolutely not. I mean, for all the super fans.
Body.
Well, also all the super fans know that. The guy that acts for Cal, what's his name again? You know it?
Dane.
Eric Dane. He's in Grey's Anatomy, and all the girls are like, oh, he's so hot. Trust me, the body they show on that photo is not so hot.
No, when you see his body, like, shortly after, it's not him in that picture, which is, like, fascinating. This is, like, the greatest mystery, because, like, why did he catfish her with a picture that's not him, but is also, like, worse than your body? Like, you're supposed to catfish people with, like, good pictures, not, like, ones that are, like, grosser than you are in real life.
Absolutely. And also, we will be posting this photo of Domi and Daddy in our Instagram. That's So Euphoric.
Check it out.
I'll handle it at the end of the episode, but trust me, we will plug that bod.
Yes. So, like, was this, like, intentional, or was it, like, a weird fuck
know.
up? Who knows? Anyways, she gets that text, and then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet up with him. So then we get, like, this great scene where she's riding her bike, and it's like...
you love this scene.
Yeah, because I think this... so, like, playing into what I was talking about earlier with our boy Ashtray, we're starting to get a, like, glimpse into, like, the fact that this show is more of a dark fantasy than it is, like, realism or a drama.
It's not your average, like, MTV show, but it's also not... It's really not, like, anything we've seen before. And I know others might argue, but, like, there are a lot of shows out there, like Skins... I don't know, you can name a bunch. Like, there's a lot of shows out there about teenagers in high school, and they are never accurate, and they're also never fun like this in a way where it's like really actually dark and pulls other influences.
Yeah, it's definitely like making an effort to be more of like a more fantastical, and it's got some, like, the score during this time has very Danny Elfman vibes. It's kind of like
Absolutely.
Edward Scissorhandsy. You've got like the weird, they meet up at this like motel that's like kind of just in the middle of the suburbs, and like somehow she was able to ride her bike there.
Yeah, which is weird for Oakland. Everything's so spread out.
They're not in Oakland. They're in like...
No, they're in Oakland.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I thought they were in like the middle of nowhere, NorCal.
No, it's Oakland.
All right, we'll fact check this momentarily.
Yeah, I might be drunk, but I'm pretty sure.
But then there's like this weird motel that's just kind of in the middle of the suburbs, and all the kids ride bikes everywhere, which is very like Stranger Things. We've got like music that's kind of from all different eras. Like they're listening to like 2000s hip hop at their high school parties, but like we know from the phones that it's more modern.
Wait, pause. That's how I know it's Oakland, because they go, Oakland, that's it, baby. That song, blow the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely
Oakland,
in
they all go
NorCal.
like this. So like Oakland, they all point to themselves. No, they do, I swear.
All
Anyways,
right.
It's not important, but it is Oakland, I think.
Anyways, so yeah, we're getting like the intro to like all this stuff with the bikes, and we're getting like purple lit like synthwave motel scenes. Like we've got the 5-year-old selling drugs. Yeah. We've got this scene very early on of Jules and Rue like doing acid together before they know each other. Just introducing this idea that this is like a little more.
It's more than just like a show about teenagers.
Yeah.
Love it.
Which is a big point of like why I'm interested in this show.
Alex.
Yeah.
That tickles my heart because I'm obsessed. So for Alex to even say he's somewhat interested, it's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. Alex is very hard to please.
Yeah, true. So then Jules is getting ready for her date.
Oh my god, yes. I love when she's getting ready. So she's in her room, she's getting ready. This is really, really random, but Alex and I, of course, as you do when you're preparing for such a creative outlet as a podcast, we took notes and we rewatched the episode. So she's getting ready. By the way, she's wearing the tights that I wore to my holiday party, so I feel like I should get credit here. I feel like I'm just such an influencer in that way. But I love it. Okay, but really, on the real, she looks hot as fuck, and she puts on her lip gloss, and I know this is really strange, but like, ladies, if you've done this, like, let me know. But like, she does this weird thing where I always do this, but like, you use your finger to apply your lip gloss, but then I'm always wiping the excess lip gloss on my jeans, or like, I don't even know, like, I'll rub it on like the back of my neck.
Ew.
Alex thinks that's really weird and gross, but like, what she does is like way hotter. She like puts it on her lips and then licks her finger like a lollipop, and I'm like, that is so hot. And in that moment I was like, I might be lesbian because I think Jules is hot, but like, Alex thinks it's really nasty that when I apply my lip gloss, I'm like wiping it on like my ass on my jeans.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But anyways, I love that scene. I don't care what anybody says. I just think, I don't know why. I literally took a note that said hot when Jules applies lip gloss. So she's getting ready to meet up with this dad, big DD, Domi and Daddy.
Old Domi and Daddy. And then she gets a text.
Yes, so she gets a text. It's like, ding, text. What's in the text, Alex?
She gets a picture from Domi and Daddy of a bottle of Cook's champagne alongside 2 plastic glasses, basically like enticing her, like, look what I've got inside waiting for you.
Is there even a message with it? No, it's literally just a photo.
He's just like,
it's just a photo of Cooks.
Yeah, it's like, come up to the room, look what I got. I got a fucking $5 bottle of champagne and 2 plastic glasses.
And anyone that knows Alex and I really mean this, our friends know this, obviously our new podcast followers have no fucking clue what we're talking about, but we are Cook's #1 fans. Cooks, if you are listening to this podcast, please sponsor us. You could use the branding. B, like, we would be the best influencers for your brand. So shout out Cooks.
True. So there's like a long history of us with Cooks. So we both kind of like died when she gets this
text. We died. We literally were laughing so hard we had to rewind the show because I was crying laughing, like.
So for those of you that like don't know, for those of you that don't know, Cooks is like a cheap champagne. It's like a step above Andre. It's like $5 to $10 a bottle. And I don't know why, but sometime in college this became like our drink, like, of choice. Yeah, Paige is literally wearing.
We don't even know how it evolved. Like, literally, I everyone's always like, why do you love Cooks? And I have to kind of stop because I'm kind of like, why wouldn't I love it? It's beautiful, but like, I'm also like, I actually don't know. I have no answer.
There's a lot of reasons, but like, Paige is literally
Alex and I
wearing.
will be drinking Cooks at our wedding. Like, that's how much we love it.
Oh yeah. And right now, Paige is wearing a vintage Cooks sweatshirt that I got her off eBay because that's like how into Cooks we are.
Literally, we are obsessed.
This shit is hilarious. But like, as much as we love Cooks, Cooks is not like good or impressive champagne.
No.
So
it's like what, $8 maybe in New York. Oh, that is one thing about moving to New York.
Yeah, they fucking price it up here.
It's like $8 here. In California, when we were buying that shit off the rack,
it's like 11
$5.99
here. Yeah, on the West Coast, it's like $5.
Yeah, and here
on the
it's
East
about
Coast,
11.
it's like
here
11
is,
and $12.
Okay, but New York is labeling cooks as a luxury, therefore it's $11. So I'm kind of here for paying more because it's like I'm paying for quality. I am paying for quality. In California, everyone's like, who the fuck drinks Cooks? That's disgusting because it's $5. In New York, they're like, ooh, like $11. Cooks? Okay. Anyways, this is a moment where we need to pause for a second because Alex actually literally, despite coronavirus, nothing is stopping us. Nothing. Alex went ahead and bought us a beautiful bottle of Cooks that we're about to open right now over the mic. You want to hear that pop. You want to hear that fizzle.
Oh, yeah. In honor of our first episode and this particular moment in the episode, we had to do it up big.
We had to.
Here, so.
Let's hear it. Everyone, listen. Cooks sounds like nothing else. Watch it make no sound.
Here we go. Ooh. That special moment.
I couldn't cover my ears because I'm wearing headphones. Oh, that was treacherous. Moment. But honestly, the crisp sound of a Cook's opening is like no other. Oh, wait. Do you think the viewers can hear that? The viewers, the listeners.
Oh, they can hear it.
I'm used to being an Instagrammer where I say viewers, but now I have to get used to saying the listeners.
It's a beautiful sound.
All right. So you know what? Alex and I are going to cheers. It's our first episode of our podcast that we are just so proud of. And you know what? Let's cheers and let's say that's so euphoric.
Ugh, it's so euphoric.
That is...
Cooks, euphoric.
Oh, that is just so euphoric. Oh my God, this Cooks is great. I wonder how long it's aged.
Ooh, that's fresh. Just fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. Okay.
So anyways
moving. That was quite a moment. Yeah. That was a moment.
But anyways, this scene
that was a euphoric moment. And also, we do need to be better. Like, we named the show that. We do need to be better about saying when a moment is euphoric. Like, it sounds cliche, but, like, it's very important when something is so crucial and, like, exciting and stupid. We need to say, like, that is so euphoric.
That text is definitely euphoric.
Yeah, so this was a euphoric moment.
But to, like, unpack this a little bit, this scene, like, reveals some key stuff about our boy Domi and Daddy that's pretty interesting. So, like, revelation number one, he's definitely just like straight up disrespecting Jules because he's basically like, you don't warrant even
God, it's embarrassing.
You don't warrant more than like the cheap bottom shelf champagne. Like he could have gotten her like the nondescript like $20 bottle from Trader Joe's that it looks at least like looks fancy. Well, but he just went straight up for like bottom shelf.
Oh, absolutely. It's so embarrassing. It's like, okay, here I am. I'm on Humper. I almost said Thumper.
Thumper.
I'm on the Thumper app. And anyone, I mean, come on. I mean, you and I have dated 10 years, so to be fair, we don't know what it's like to be on an online app. But I'm sorry. You've got to be a fucking loser if you're texting someone a bottle of Cooks with plastic glasses. At least if you're going to entice someone with the beautiful, luxurious Cooks. No. At least have, like, some nice china or like crystal, like
yeah, exactly.
Plastic
so like
cups.
Step 2 here is that he's disrespecting not only Jules, but he is disrespecting the Cooks by putting it in plastic glasses. You know, like
absolutely,
the Cooks deserves better. And then like just on a third level of disrespect, he's really disrespecting himself because this guy clearly has money. He could be drinking better champagne, but he doesn't care.
I almost said he's a doctor. I don't know. He's not a doctor, but he's definitely known in the community.
He's an architect, I think, but he like doesn't care enough about himself, because he's at like job sites.
Alex has only seen the show twice, and he's like Cal is an architect.
He's in like construction or something. He's like a developer.
Okay. So Nate's
or
dad is a developer,
architect or something. He's on like,
you're right.
He's on construction sites. All the time.
You see him on construction sites.
Yeah,
I thought he was a doctor. I'm thinking Grey's Anatomy. I'm sorry. Jeez. Show crossovers.
So like clearly he has money, so he's kind of disrespecting himself too. You know, he really played himself by not buying himself a better champagne for this occasion.
And for those of you that are bored already, like get over it. This was very important that we discussed the complex issue of him sending a photo to Jules. It's not a dick pic. It's literally a bottle of $5.99 Cooks and 2 plastic glasses. Let's remember that, ladies. So if you get that text and you get that photo sliding into your DM, I mean, part of me is like, fuck yeah, this is great. Another part of me is like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Unless you have like a cultish love for cooks like us, then this is
That's what
straight
I'm saying.
up disrespect.
Like, I was just gonna say, like, maybe 2 people, me and Alex, would be stoked on that photo. Anybody else, like, run for the fucking hills if you get that photo.
Basically. So then we get on with things, and they have their very creepy sexual encounter.
This part is really deep. I mean, Euphoria superfans know this, but anyone that's new listening to this podcast and maybe might be watching the show for the first time, this scene's probably the hardest you'll have to sit through. Absolutely.
No. The hardest in the show?
I think so. I mean, it's really tough to watch a 40-year-old dad essentially, like, thrusting his dick into her, like...
We had some discussions about whether this was rape or not.
Well, it's like he's having sex with her, but he's like, it's from behind, and it's a lot, and it's very rapey. It's not, like, romantic. It's not even like, oh, like, I get it. Like, she likes older guys. It literally feels like a rape scene for me. It's really hard to watch. As a woman, it's very hard to watch.
I mean, I agree. And we looked over, like, everything a lot after this scene, and it's hard to read from Jules' reactions. It's very complex, and it's hard to read whether this was like rapey for her or not, or if this was like more what she's into, because we never really get like an explicit reaction from her that confirms or denies anything either way. But it definitely has like some pretty creepy vibes.
Does. It's hard though, and I will
thumb
say
in the mouth thing and like the aggressiveness of it, and like obviously that's like,
what does he say to her? He puts his like finger in her mouth and he's like, suck on this, or like says something.
And I mean,
weird.
obviously he is the dominant daddy, so like much of this is to be expected.
I think to me,
and I'm sure she
hard.
expected much of that, but
yeah, like I said, I know it's like it. As a woman, I will speak on this because I think it's okay for me to say, if we're gonna get like serious for just half a second, because this podcast is not serious at all. I will say, like, sex from behind already is very like degrading, even if it feels really great. Like, it's like your face is in a fucking pillow, you can hardly breathe. Like, I really mean this. Like, even if I am like enjoying it, it's like, wow, I'm literally being mounted by a man with my face like in a fucking pillow. I can't breathe. Like, it's already so like intense. So to be mounted as like a high schooler by a 40-year-old fucking dad who just fed you cooks, like, I'm sorry, that's a lot to digest. So when I say it feels rapey, it's like, yo, Alex and I have dated 10 years, and not to be TMI, but like, if you're fucking me from behind, it already is kind of like, oh god, okay, I'll do this.
TMI.
It's like, okay, I will suffer through like barely being able to breathe so that my boyfriend can orgasm, but like, if it's a
Excuse me.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Excuse.
I mean, most of the time I enjoy it, but I mean, but once again, circling it back, if it was like someone like your dad's age doing that to me, I'm telling you right now, like, that's not enjoyable. And any woman that says it is, they're fucking lying.
Well, we can't say that. Like, everyone has their own vibes and gets their own things.
Though.
And
a
she's
high
clearly,
school girl is so in it. They don't know that much.
Don't like disregard her sexual agency here. Like, she's clearly seeking out dominant men for this type of encounter, and while we don't know like the particulars about how she felt about this encounter, like, I think it's safe to say like she at least has some idea of what she's into, and I don't think it's right to say like that doesn't work for her, like, because it doesn't work for you.
I'm not
Maybe
dissing
that's her
her.
thing.
I'm not dissing her at all. All I'm saying is for me as a girl, it's hard to watch. So you're right. No, I'm not judging her. If anything, that is why Jules is such a fucking badass, because I do think she actually gets some kind of pleasure from it. I think for her, it's like a dominance thing, which is odd because for me, I don't understand it. But to each their own. For her, I think it's a very empowering move, and we'll get into that later because she does talk about it with Rue.
Yeah, let her do her thing. But then my other hot take from this scene is that, like, who knows, but to me it feels like Nate's dad being such a macho, like, fucking asshole. I feel like do we think Domi and Daddy's gay? I feel like he's probably gay and goes for trans girls because he is not comfortable in his masculinity enough to accept that he's gay, and he's got the family and everything. So I feel like
Cal gay? Or
I feel like he couches his gayness by like soliciting trans girls.
Maybe.
Because he's not comfortable enough to be like, I'm gay.
I think we'll have to explore that later. I think TBD. It's definitely a thing.
Does Nate want to fuck his dad?
Alex, just shut up. No.
TBD.
That's not a thing.
TBD.
All right. So Then we get to the part where essentially we're jumping into the party scene, which is the last final scene of the show. We see Rue. She's literally stumbling through the gas station. I've already talked to Alex about this. I took notes on it. I love this part. Rue's literally stumbling and the girls roll up. This is when we're introduced to my favorite girl squad. I feel like these girls are my best friends. They are, because Sydney Sweeney and I are essentially like on a personable level at this point.
She is not there though.
Oh, she's not in the car.
No.
Damn. No, are you sure?
Yeah, it's just
So it's Janice, Kat, and Maddie? I know she's in there. Oh, you might be right. She went with what's his name?
Yeah, she's there.
Damn, never mind. All right. Scratch that. Anyways, we meet half the girl squad, which every girl that watches Euphoria, like, this is like the moment. We love it. They're in the car. It's such a good depiction of girls in high school. It's literally, I mean, we've got Janice front seat. Sorry, I'm laughing because the girl that literally none of us know her name, she's always jeweling. Or no, we do know her name, but we'll say it later. But it's the girl that's always jeweling. She's kind of ratchet, and she's a part of the girl squad, but they never talk about her. So there's Kat, Maddie, Cassie, and Lexi. Those are like, that's the girl squad, plus Rue and Jules, of course. But then we've got this random ass girl who's always wearing like a bra and is jeweling, and so Alex and I call her Jeweling Janice because they never say her name, and she's really dope.
She's always like in tracksuits, just like jeweling and being ratchet and looking like she's probably like a Russian consort or something.
Well, what's her real name? Do you remember?
Yeah, her real name her name in the show is BB, but I don't know if they ever say that on screen, and if they do, we missed it.
Yeah, we missed it. So we call her Jeweling Janice.
So Janice the jeweler.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. That scene I just love. I just wanted to bring it up because that scene's really fun. It's kind of like when you're in high school and you're partying, you're having a good time. So essentially they come over, and I love this part because Maddie literally looks back and goes, "Is that Rue?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "I thought she was fucking dead." Like, everyone thought she died because of her drug overdose, but nah, she's there at the gas station. So they ask her if she needs a ride to this party, and Rue's like fucked up on drugs at this point from earlier in the episode. So she looks at them and goes, "Yeah." And she's like literally laughing. So it's great. Literally, right, like, we're watching it right now on our screen as we're doing the podcast, and she's about to get picked up, and I love it. It's just cute. She's ready to party.
Also, Rue is looking good in this scene. Rue has got like her like shiny gold jacket and her like shiny red like velvety like shirt top pants thing going.
Absolutely. Like, also, they're all jeweling, and that is something that Alex and I cannot relate to because I'm sorry, like, the young folk these days, I mean, people our age definitely jewel, but I'm saying, like, for our time, you didn't jump into a car with a bunch of people to go to a party and everyone had their own jewel. That was not a thing.
We had cloves and cigarettes. Yeah. Like, duh. We were smoking Camel Crush and, like,
absolutely.
Black cloves and stuff.
So I love, like, I really enjoy this scene. So, anyways, moving on. We get to the party. It's hopping. The party is hopping.
Yeah, as we get to the party, we've got a really great usage of Smart House. Shout out Smart House. If you haven't seen Smart House,
we've got Nate and all of his friends doing the Smart House dance
singing a song from Smart House, the famous decom.
That'd be so funny if Nate like threw his jacket off and just started doing that dance.
That would be amazing.
No, oh my god, that's perfect too, because there's the black guy in Smart House, so it could be Nate and McKay. Oh my god, they should have done that. Oh my god, and Cassie could have been the girl that throws her cardigan in the house plant.
Oh yeah, that's how they get caught.
You know what's sad is anyone watching, or oh my god, I keep saying watching. Anyone listening to this podcast probably hasn't even seen Smart House.
If you haven't seen Smart House, you're doing yourself no favors. Go
Disney
check that
Plus,
shit out.
Smart House. Anyways, moving on. I went way off track.
So anyways, they're at the party now. They're using we got a really great usage of Good Times by Jamie XX, where you got the fluctuating volume that's like really simulating what it's like to be at the party.
Not only that, it's also what it's like,
and the volume's muffled and it's not.
It's also what it's like to take, for me at least, it's like, it's the experience of taking drugs for the first time, and like you said, being at a party and kind of having everything go silent, but having like the background muffle and almost being a little paranoid, but not enough.
Yeah, and
like
sometimes
you're a little nervous because you're like, why is everything like kind of quiet? Why am I like in this state of mind? And then it's like, oh, like the music kind of creeps in, and then you feel okay.
And sometimes you're like hyper attuned to the music, and other times it's like it's not even there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So also we will absolutely plug that song on our Instagram. We're always going to update you on all the best songs in the show because there's so many that it's like hard to even keep track of.
Of course.
Moving on.
So then we got McKay is talking to his boys, the football boys.
Oh my god! No, to be fair, this is before the party. This isn't right in this moment.
Yeah, right around this time though. So everybody's giving McKay. They're like pre-gaming for the party. Everyone's giving McKay a hard time about being into Cassie because of the sex video that's out there about her. And McKay's response to them all giving him a hard time about her is, "She's cool, guys. Like, she likes cars."
Literally, wait, let's rephrase that. Literally, they're all watching a practical porno of her.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, and he goes, "Guys, stop. Like, don't call her a whore. She likes cars."
She's cool. She likes cars. He doesn't even say don't call her a whore. He doesn't even defend her.
No, he does. He's like, don't call her that.
He's like, no, she's cool. She likes cars. Like,
First of all,
in his mind, his great defense of how he's gonna win over this fucking team of douchebags to this girl and like change their opinion on her is like, no, it's cool. Like, she likes cars. Like,
also,
and they're all
Cassie
gonna be like,
doesn't fucking
does
like
she?
cars.
Like,
not 1 ounce of her character shows that she's into cars. Like, when
she's
do
probably
we
into
ever?
Cars. She seems like she'd be into cars.
No, when do we ever though in this season of Euphoria get the hint that Cassie's fucking reaching cars?
Well,
this is so stupid.
She's into true romance, which I would say is an unexpected turn for her character. So if she's into true romance, I don't find it
true
unbelievable.
romance meaning her Halloween costume, right? Later in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her Halloween costume later in the show is a reference to Alabama from the film
I know.
True
I was
Romance,
just making sure.
which is like a pretty like culty like movie. It's like Quentin Tarantino wrote it, but he didn't
cars
direct
involved?
it. It's got a bunch of like great like kind of actors like.
Oh, yes, that too. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject, but I will say another really cool part of the scene that we definitely wanted to at least like say, just in case superfans didn't know. It's so cool when Rue's really high and we get the Jamie XX vibes. The filmmakers actually had a rotating hallway. So it looks like she's really dizzy and she's like really high and fucked up, but really they actually had a hallway that rotated and people were Velcroed to the ceiling of it.
Yeah, they did the Inception thing, right?
Yes.
That's sweet.
So it's a really cool look.
Love
so
that.
if you're rewatching episode 1, for those of you that aren't super fans, if you watch, she's really high and it really does appear like she's kind of like dizzy and is like essentially crawling wall to wall like Spider-Man. And it's insane because it's actually a set that they built, and like it from a nerdy point of view, like this costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time, and all the actors essentially have to be hanging upside down, Velcroed to the ceiling for like sometimes like not anything crazy, but sometimes like minutes at a time, which if you've ever hung upside down, that's treacherous. Like, I don't recommend it for anyone. Also, they're not drinking. They have red cups, but they're empty. So not only are you hanging upside down, you don't actually get to enjoy like drinking Cooks or anything of the sort. So
Terrible.
Fun fact. I just wanted to throw that in. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, fuck,
I hope those extras got paid a little bit.
That's why Euphoria is so amazing. They really go the extra length.
Yeah, truly.
They really do. I mean, it's a movie. It's not a TV show. It's literally a film.
It's very cinematic, which is one of the things I appreciate about it.
Anyways.
So yeah, sometime during the scene, we also get the reference where Rue is just straight up admits that she's an unreliable narrator. I won't go too deep into that, but like keep that in mind for the rest of the show. Most of what we see through the show is through Rue's eyes, and at this point, she's basically said she's unreliable.
Absolutely.
So everything kind of comes with that. Again, that like fantastical element or that air of like, who knows if this is actually what happened. Like it's all kind of like,
absolutely.
It's all sifted through her like drug-addled vision. So who knows?
No, that's a good point. It's like we can't really rely on what she's telling us, even though she's the narrator, because she's fucked up all the time, which is kind of like me in this podcast. Like, you can't rely on what I'm saying.
Exactly. So then we get the best part of the whole party.
The best, most satisfying part. Sorry. I was thinking another moment. I was thinking
my personal favorite part of the party scene is when we get to what we've dubbed the reject room.
Yes, we have named it the reject room.
So that's the awkward room at the party where we've got the collection of like all the like shuffled off like weirdos that like probably shouldn't be there.
Exactly. So just there by they're like invited by a friend of a friend of a friend. Yeah. We've all been there.
So we got like the idiot like twins in here.
Tio and Tamaro.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Tio and Tamaro.
The two black twins.
Yeah, so we have them. They're both total goons.
We've named them Tio and Tamaro.
We got Kat in the Trader Joe's shirt. We got McLovin.
No. You went into that way too fast. So we've got Kat, who, by the way, throughout the show has really great fashion. But Alex got a really, laughable kick out of this. As we were watching, I was like, what the fuck? Kat deserves better. She's literally in a fucking shirt that looks like she just walked off her shift at Trader Joe's. Mm-hmm. She looks sweaty. She doesn't look good.
Nah.
I'm sorry, but that's not fair because guess what? It's always the bigger girl that gets the most commentary. So why not? Let's make her look hot. Let's not put her in a fucking Hawaiian extra large t-shirt. Let's maybe let her shine.
The Trader Joe's Hawaiian shirt is not doing her any favors. And this is coming from a guy that's a big fan of a good Hawaiian shirt.
No, but I'm just saying, she has great fashion throughout the show. I know you have different opinions, but I think she does. And in this moment, she is not shining. She's literally a sweaty Trader Joe's worker. So anyways,
we got
the reject room. They're all smoking in there. They're all chilling on beanbags.
The other member of the reject room is fucking this McLovin wannabe who for some reason thought he should take his shirt off even though he has the schlubbiest, whitest, pastiest body. He's disgusting. Ever. He's got his little peach fuzz mustache. So this room is just all around sad.
It's just sad because they're literally the rejects of the party, but they're all conversing. And anyways, McLovin, the character on the beanbag that looks like a total fuck, he essentially starts enticing Kat in her Trader Joe's shirt and is being a real dick and is like, have you ever, do you know what it's like to, suck on a guy's dick? I don't know what he actually says, but it's something along those lines. It's so annoying because it's literally if I was in that moment, I would literally have to be are you actually asking me this right now? I'm trying to drink and have a good time. Don't ask me about what sucking dick is like. It's not that great. Shut up.
Instead,
sit on
Kat's
your beanbag and do your thing.
But instead, she's let me pop this Trader Joe's shirt off.
Well, to be fair, she's dealing with a lot of confidence issues, so her character is very complex, and us women can understand. It's really intimidating for a guy to be do you like to suck dick? I mean, it's just
even
awkward.
If it's McLovin, even if it's peach fuzz, schlubby boy.
For her, it is because she doesn't have a lot of confidence. So for her, anyone that's asking her something like that, it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think she handles herself the best she can. So we don't need to go too in depth because I think we can talk about that in other episodes because her character is so complex. But in that moment, I feel for her as a girl. It's really scary to be put on the spot like that and be asked if you're a virgin, all these personal questions. So she ends up fucking that guy, which is really awful.
Whoa. Yeah, true.
She does, but
we do find out a little later. But
like I said, we'll talk about it next episode because it's a deeper dive.
But I mean, woof.
Episode 2 will deep dive.
I think my jaw hit the floor when you find out later in the episode that she fucked McLovin. I thought maybe it was gonna be oh, she sucked his dick.
No, it's worse.
I was ooh,
I know,
girl,
I know.
oof.
But let's deep dive into episode 2.
Also, during this scene, just quick shout out, we get a flashback to a scene where Jules has green eyebrows, which is the only scene where they ever show this in the whole show. I don't know that it super works for her, but it's a super interesting worthwhile fashion choice, and it's funny that of all the makeup in this show, that one doesn't ever really get any recognition because the green eyebrows is all. I mean,
eyebrows is a bold move. No one's.
It's a super bold move.
No, but I'm saying you're saying, oh, it wasn't picked up. Well, no shit. No one's trying to go out and dye their eyebrows green.
Well, I don't mean in that way. I just mean
it's more permanent.
I mean respect. I mean it more in respect to the costume and the makeup department and stuff. Because for this one 5-second flashback of Jules, they were let's dye our eyebrows green. Fuck it. It never comes back. So that's great. I love that.
So to wrap up the end of this party scene, it's obviously very intense. A lot happens, and for you super fans, you know what happens. But the end scene, we won't really go too deep into it, but it is the most epic. It is literally when Jules just owns fucking Nate, and it is so epic. And I'm sorry, it's so powerful. And I think I skipped a part we wanted to talk about, but I don't even care because this is so important. Nate essentially bullies Jules and puts her in a fucking corner and is like, what the fuck? I didn't invite you here. And he's a total meathead. And she literally, she blows me the fuck away. Oh, she slits her own wrist to the point where it's bleeding.
Arm. Yeah.
and not just slits it, puts it in his face and is like, what?
She like smears it on him. Yeah.
She smears it on him.
She goes like
right.
full like pagan witchy and like smears her, like she like marks him by like smearing her blood on him, which is just like supremely badass.
It's not only badass, he's literally begging like a little fucking pussy.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking scared. She's like gonna cut him and he's fucking scared as shit.
So
he's about
scared.
to like shit his pants. It's great.
I love it. It's just good. And it's a moment for anyone that's ever been, you know, the underdog in high school. It's a really empowering moment to watch in a show.
We've all wanted to stick a knife in a jock's ribs, right? Like,
abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like I said, there's not much to do. Like, other than watch it and you'll feel the same way. It's such an empowering moment for Jules as a character.
That's fucking great.
But the only other thing that we really quickly wanted to mention was when Rue and Fezco have a little talk on the couch.
Yeah, they're talking outside, and it's a great, like... I think this scene is worth mentioning it for me because Fezco is like believably stoned in this scene. Like he's like super out of it and she's trying to get real deep and he's just like, I'm too stoned for this. Like I love you, but like I'm too stoned. And I like it because like so often in like movies and TV and stuff, being stoned like is depicted as being like you're fucking like wild, like almost like drinking or like MDMA or something, and he's just like so like low key, like can barely speak, is so out of it, is just like I'm too high for this shit, which is a much more accurate depiction.
Well, also, no, not to like burst your bubble, but also we do have to remember that this is really a moment where we can all relate if you actually do smoke weed often, which is when someone sits down and starts to tell you a really like dark, deep story about their life, which Rue does. Yeah. She's literally going into why she went to rehab, why
that's
she's
a drinking
here.
Convo, not a smoking convo.
Yeah, when you're drinking, you can kind of like overlook it and go ha 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 and like keep drinking out of fun.
Or you can get deep on it and be okay with it. But when you're smoking, that's just like
it's too much.
Shit.
It's like, yo, I want to be talking about like funny shit. Right, I want to point to someone across the room and be like, don't they look like Gumby from that show? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like you're stoned. You just want to like giggle and talk about stupid shit.
You're not trying to have your night get like super fucking dark.
No,
like,
not at all.
Yeah.
So that part's very realistic, and we appreciate it because it's once again. It just tells you how much the director puts into the show and how much research is done.
Or how much Chicken Shop Boy brings to the scene. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, it could be the direction.
It's a mixture. But the writing is great.
Yeah, it could just be that he's like that type of dude who like gets what it's like to be stoned at a party, which to me seems believable, but I'm just projecting.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying like that. I'm priding Euphoria on that. Like they're literally making this the most realistic show possible by literally pulling someone out of a chicken shop who gets high all the time so that they don't have to act like they're high. They actually are high because they get high all the time.
Or they like get what that experience is like, you know.
It's great. So the only other thing I wanted to talk about was obviously after Jules slits her wrist. So after Fezco and Rue have their talk, Jules slits her wrist. She does her thing. She smears her blood. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's had a night. She went from drinking Cokes out of a plastic cup to essentially bleeding down her fucking arm and smearing it on a jock. Talk about a night.
Oh, yeah.
She walks outside, is clearly very frustrated, like anyone would be, because it's like, yo, I did this really baller thing, but like no one's really like, you know, high-fiving me for it. She walks out, grabs her bike, and guess who's there to greet her?
Rue. Well, Rue goes out there to say like, hey, are you okay?
That's what I'm saying. She's there to greet her. She literally says, hey, are you okay?
Yeah, Rue's like,
which is kind of dope, because I feel like you and I, especially like Alex and I, like getting nerdy on this, like our relationship's kind of similar. Like we both are kind of outcasts in a way. Alex more so than me.
We're like the weirdos at the party.
But we are. We're always like the weird outcasts. We always have different opinions. We're always kind of like the standout group. Mm-hmm. So for someone to like come up to you and care and be like, yo, are you like cool? But not in like a thirsty way, more just like, are you okay? It was just a really cute moment. It's clear that Rue's intrigued, but she's also like, she cares about Jules from literally the millisecond they meet.
Mm-hmm, agree.
So it's a great scene. She jumps off, you know, she's like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? And Jules is like, I'm going home. Like my wrist is like bleeding. I'm going home, like, or to the ER. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Rue essentially is like, can I come with? And it's such a cute moment because in that moment you could be like, nah, dude, like I'm trying to go home. My wrist is like bleeding. But it's cute. Jules is like, okay. Like, she doesn't even think twice. She's just kind of like, let's do this.
Yeah, they fucking hang out. It's cool.
I know,
it's very, like casually,
it's very organic, though. I like it because it's just not
Yeah.
forced. And I think that's why Euphoria stands out. Nothing's ever forced. It feels so natural. So, essentially, they have this really cute moment. And Rue jumps on the back of Jules' bike or on the front?
The back.
I just want to make sure I get that right.
Yeah.
She jumps on the back. They ride home. Alex has a weird qualm with this part.
Not a qualm. It's just funny. When they get to
deal.
Jules' house, like, the stairway in her house is so wide. I don't understand. I've been in so many suburban homes in my life, and I have never seen a stairway that was, like, 6 or 7 feet across like this one is. It's fascinating.
Also, like I said, we are
completely unimportant, but fascinating.
Totally. But it's a really emotional scene. I mean, they're riding the bike together. She still has like tears stained on her cheeks, like Jules
and then
does.
Rue like cleans her up when they get to the house. It's very intimate.
Cute. It's very intimate. Rue like takes care of her.
It's cute though.
No, it's not like sexy or like ooh. Like,
it's a little sexy. There's a little romantic tension. Like,
there is, but I'm saying it's not like your average show where it's like ooh, like we're about to hook up. No, it's like it's sweet.
It's not like
it's
gross.
Very genuine. Like I said, it's organic. It's.
Those stairs are wide as fuck. You see that?
Sorry, we're watching the show
playing in the
right
background,
now.
And the stairs are fucking wide.
It's stupid.
You know they are.
It's not that important. But yeah, I'll agree with you. I just, like I said, to end our discussion of the episode in itself, I just think it's so beautiful that it's so organic, and I love their relationship so much. It's never forced. It never feels phony. It's never cheesy. It's very much like two girls meeting and really, like, honestly exploring their sexuality and trying to figure. They both come from such different backgrounds. So I love this intro. But that being said, at this point, the episode ends with such a great quote. They literally are laying in bed together. She's done, like, taking care of her fucking broke-ass wrist that's bleeding down her chest. Wrist, whatever. I'm drunk. I'm drinking Cokes. It doesn't matter. She's bleeding. She takes care of her, puts a Band-Aid on it. And Rue literally looks her in the eye and says, "Wanna get high?" And that's the end of the episode. And
Perfection.
I mean, what's a better end to an episode? Wouldn't you agree, Alex?
It's perfect. I love it.
It's such a good ending.
Yeah.
So
we also get the weird reveal about our boy Domi and Daddy. A little right before the actual episode ends.
You're right. When she's walking up the stairs,
we see that old Domi and Daddy is also
Nate's
fucking dipshit Nate's dad.
You're right.
Which
is important. It is important to say that.
Oh, it's important.
It is.
And Nate also has two brothers, as revealed in those family photos, and we meet one of those brothers later, but who knows what's going on.
And we'll deep dive into the aspects of Nate's family because it is fucked for sure. But I mean, I guess all I would say is at the end of the scene, it's beautiful. It's Lily Rue just saying, "Hey, want to get high?" And like,
yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like I said, we'll deep dive into it next episode. But I will say, I love it. I mean, I just think it's such a great way to end on an episode. It leaves you. It's a cliffhanger. It is a cliffhanger. And now we're going to get into the next part of the show, which is at the end of every episode, Alex and I have collectively decided that we're going to do some superlatives. For those of you who are not educated, who have never been to school and don't know what that word means, Alex, take it away.
So superlatives are the silly things in like high school where they're like the best couple, like the like class clown, like they're just like the fucking silly ass awards. So
and usually they're not warranted. They're always fucked.
Yeah.
The right person never wins.
But the right person's gonna win.
The right person's gonna fucking win on this podcast.
So we have decided on a couple categories, and for each episode we will be sharing our individual choices for these superlatives. So our categories are best dressed, worst dressed, the bae of the episode, the big purple dirty rat bastard of the episode, the class clown, the best couple, and the song of the week. So we're just going to take you through those real quick.
We're not going to deep dive.
No. We'll take you through real quick with our choices, and then we'll wrap things up.
Okay, so first up.
Best dress. Paige, who's your pick?
Best dress is Jules, hands down. For me, it is. I'll briefly tell you why. I mean, like I said, the one tear that I had while watching the scene where she rides her bike, she looks like Sailor Moon. She knows how to apply that lip gloss. She's drinking that Coke. She's slitting her wrist, and while she's doing it, she looking fly.
I'm going to disagree on this episode. I think Jules is going to be my choice for almost every episode, but in this one, I'm going to go Rue. I think her the gold and red party outfit is very glam for her.
More maroon. Red
it's very flattering, and it's way glamour than she usually looks. I think she nails it. And no offense to Jules, but none of her outfits in this episode like really came together for me like the way they do in some of the later episodes.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Rue all the way for me.
Okay, Rue
How
all
about
the way
worst dressed?
Worst dress, I think we both agree it's Kat.
Oh yeah, Kat.
So Kat,
Trader
I mean,
Joe's.
we already said it looks like she got off her sweaty shift at Trader Joe's. She's wearing the Hawaiian shirt. It's just not becoming for her.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment.
All right, how about your Bay of the episode?
Bay of the episode for me is Jules. Sorry, I know I'm doing it again, but
no, same. The arm cutting and the arm blood rubbing, like it's too much. It's perfect. It's great.
I mean, if you cut your wrist and you rub your blood on a douchey ass jock,
on like the douchey ass jock,
the king of
the school, and you put your blood on him and make him cry like a fucking baby in the kitchen at a party and shit his pants, like, I
mean, you're done in life. You can't really go up from there.
Jules all the way.
Bay of the episode.
All right, big purple dirty rat bastard.
Oh my god, wait, first of all, I can't believe that we have a section called the Big Purple Dirty Rat Bastard. Don't even ask why that's the name, but just essentially understand that it's literally the shithead of the show.
Yeah, who's the worst?
Who's the worst for me? I mean, Nate, duh.
Yeah, Nate for me too. Fuck him.
Nate, I mean, and honestly, like, this is what sucks about this superlative. Don't you feel like it'll be the same for every episode, or maybe it'll change?
I think it'll change episode to episode.
Okay. Well, for now, it's Nate. He's a piece of shit.
But there will be some, like, favorite contenders. But yeah.
Any super fan or even someone that's watching for the first time, Nate's absolutely the worst. So next, Class Clown.
Funniest of the episode.
Oh, I don't know. What was yours?
So for this one, I have a odd choice, which is Domi and Daddy, only because of the cooks. He is not a funny character and he'll never be
Nate's
funny.
Dad,
but
DD.
him texting a picture of cooks as like a serious enticement to a young high school girl is fucking hilarious.
Okay, well then you know what? I'm gonna second that.
So
I'm just gonna go off
Nate's
that.
Dad.
I agree. I'm just gonna go off of yours because that's fucking funny. I mean, I'm here for it.
It's fucking funny.
It's funny.
All right, best couple.
Best couple. Ooh. Rue and Jules.
So for me,
they're not even a couple though, so maybe that's not fair.
Well,
actually.
they're like together.
Fine. You know what?
They spend time together. You can say two characters that spend time together
fine.
without.
But
being
I'm gonna
official.
disagree real quick. I won't go into it too far because I don't want to go too into it. But McKay and Cassie are mine, and we didn't talk about them a lot, but we will next episode. But
McKay's
for me,
kind
it
of
was
a
them.
clown for the like cars thing. So my vote in this episode goes to Maddie and the pool guy.
Oh, okay. Wait, can I really quickly give you a fun fact about
that? The
that?
cool guy's pretty hot. Like, he's cute. And, like, fuck Nate. He's a piece of shit.
I don't think he is.
I mean, Nate's such a fucking douche. Anybody looks, like, hot in comparison. But, like, Maddie and the pool guy fucking get it on in the pool. And it's pretty hot. Like, they're having a good time.
It is hot,
like,
but...
They get my vote.
Can I throw in a fun, nerdy fact? I've told you this before.
Yeah.
I watched an interview... on a radio station with the guy that's fucking Maddie in the pool at the party. Sorry, they don't actually fuck. So that's rude of me to say.
No, they do. They fuck.
No, they don't.
Not in real life, but in the episode,
no, in the show they don't.
Right?
No.
Really?
So no, they don't. That's why. Remember, he beats him up in the next episode. We'll go into it, but like he beats him up, and he's so pissed because he's like, I didn't like. Literally, we made out. So. I watched a radio interview show with the actor that plays the guy in the pool with Maddie when she's trying to make Nate jealous. And he said that scene took like over 3 hours to film. He said it was the most like gnarly, not hot, not fun. They had to like doggy paddle to stay above water. Can you fucking imagine? Like, first of all, me doggy paddling already is just it's a treacherous thing to even imagine, but to be doing it with an actor that you're not really like that acquainted with, and to have to be sexy and sexual and make this scene really convincing, that's hard. But it was really funny. He literally said, because everyone, that's always their first question is it awkward to be on screen in Euphoria? Because most of the scenes are very sexual, they're very like vulnerable. And he literally said, no, it was awful. We were both like exhausted physically because for 3 hours we filmed this 2-minute scene of us making out because they wanted all different angles.
Yeah.
They weren't satisfied with the way they were kissing. They kept telling them to add more tongue to be more sexual. I mean, can you imagine? Anyways, wanted to throw that out there. I think that's
well,
I think that's an interesting factoid.
It is. They're my pick for best couple because I love the way that's like a massive like fuck you to Nate.
Exactly.
So
you
good
know
for
what?
Maddie and good for the pool guy for getting some.
And that's a great group of superlatives. So those.
Wait. We got our song of the week.
Oh, not song of the week.
This week we're in agreement, so there's not much to talk about. But we both said the
Jamie
Good
XX.
Times Jamie XX song is
I already
great.
knew
Shout out Jamie XX. He's fucking great. The usage of the song is perfect.
And like I said, I just want to end the episode by saying, not only is this our first episode, so it was a little longer than expected, but we really are just excited to deep dive into each episode. Season 2 is coming up. The rumors are that it's starting in November. We just really want to go through each episode in season 1 to get you all excited for season 2. We will be trying to post these as soon as possible. With coronavirus going on, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time. But I will say we will be plugging everything on our Instagram, so go ahead and follow us. I'll make sure to add it on our link. But anything we talk about, any superlatives, any song links, we will be sure to include. Let's do a quick toast with our cooks. Alex, raise your glass. This is our first podcast we've ever done together.
Cheers.
Cheers, bitches.
Bitches.
And let's, you know what, honestly, let's just end it on saying that is so euphoric. Coronavirus is not euphoric, but you know what? The self-quarantine life, I'm here to say it's euphoric.
That's so euphoric.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you next week.